You're going to have people seeing you way more than before. And that's going to come with some praises, and it's going to come with some criticism and scrutiny and everything else behind it. And some came this week, as usual. It seems like it's coming every week like the mailman. You know what I mean? Just drop off, here's your hate for Coach Prime this week.
Message.
And it came by way of Paul FINEBAUM. Well-respected, well-known for many years. As a matter of fact, when I first interned for talk radio back in Birmingham, Alabama, during my UAB days, the building that we worked in, we did our little show out of, Paul FINEBAUM was right across the hall. This is before I even knew who he was, honestly. So I get there, and the guy I'm working with, he was so starstruck. He said, "Man, that's Paul FINEBAUM over there." I'm like, "Who the hell is Paul FINEBAUM?" I went over there, sat in his seat, and everything. Come to find out who he was later on. Big deal. ESPN and everything else. Well, he said Coach Prime might not show the patience or have the patience to stay in Colorado long enough for them to be winners, for them to be champions or threats in the playoffs. And this year, they are a non-factor. How do you feel about those comments?
First, I say this: everybody is entitled, to their opinion. You have the right to express your opinion, but what you're not entitled to is your own facts. You can't make up a set of your own facts. Facts are facts. Opinions are opinions. You can have your opinion, but you can't have your own facts. And so when I heard what he was saying, I respect the opinion part of it, but I think he's way off base on the factual part of it, because he said Colorado football, is irrelevant in the national landscape, particularly as it relates to the playoffs. He talked about Coach Prime, being a great salesman and business person, but not a great coach, and would not have the patience to do what it takes to do there, as if it's going to take a long time to do it. So here's my response, to those couple of points there, Chico. One, college football, just like the NFL, is a quarterback-driven league. I don't understand how you could have one of, if not the best quarterback in college football, going into his senior season, with the revamped offensive line, with the weapons that he has at wide receiver, those that transferred in and have grown with him, such as Travis Hunter, how that equals irrelevant in the big scheme of things, I don't know how you reach that conclusion. I think Colorado has a far greater chance than most college teams, to make noise in the playoffs, because with this expanded role, all you have to do is a couple of paths: win your conference championship, and it is very possible for Colorado to play in that Big 12 championship and win it, or be ranked in the remaining 8. Once upon a time, right out the gate last year, Colorado got as high as, I think, 15 or 16 in the nation. I don't understand where he's coming from with that. Then when he says that Coach Prime doesn't have the patience to see this thing through, you're acting like it's going to take him 20 years to rebuild something. He went from 1-11 to 4-8. If he does that again, that'll be 8 wins, and then after that, it'll be 16 wins. So that's just a 3-year window. I don't see where you can just say it's going to take them so long to be there that Colorado so far behind that Coach Prime wouldn't have that kind of patience. And I don't see how you could say a team with the quarterback that they have in Shedeur Sanders, the weapons that they have in Travis Hunter, Will Shepherd, Jimmy Horn Jr., Jonte Wester, you name it, across the board, revamped offensive. I don't understand how you could say in August, July, that's irrelevant to the landscape of the playoffs. I think it's very relevant.
That's what happened when you come from Haterville. You need to be coming from Goonsville. You feel me? Instead of Hater.
I like what you did there. Yeah.
Get up out of there, man. So that's Paul FINEBAUM's take. I'll say this. I'll play the other side a little. I can understand him saying this because, want me to tell you why? Because he feels like this. They're gonna be the same team as last year. He's not looking at the transfers that's coming in, the improvements that's been done around the whole program. He's looking at the team from last year. And he's saying in the grand scheme of the playoffs, the 8 teams that should be there, or however many it end up being, that team that he looked at last year is not going to be here. Well, and that's why RG3 said that is one of the dumbest takes or worst takes that I've heard all day, because he's basing it off of last year. He's not even looking at or paying attention to the 40-plus guys that Coach Prime brought in and the reason why they came in and the things that held Colorado back last year, and the improvements being made. So let him be one of those guys. It's like one of those guys they just get hit and they don't even know they're getting hit because he don't see it coming, you know. And those are gonna be the worst ones. Those hurt the worst sometimes because you don't even see knocked you slap out blindsided.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be one of those guys laying on the field. He's gonna have to get the stretcher to come out and get him because he's gonna be blindsided by the success of Colorado, is what I feel. So just stay tuned, Paul Finebaum.
Let me say this to you, Chico. With what Coach Prime has done from the end of last season to the beginning of this one, and we've yet to begin, if you don't see it, it's because you don't want to see it. You are willfully looking the other way. If you think that this roster, this coaching staff, you didn't just make changes in the players. You made significant changes on the coaching staff. If you can't see that the arrow is pointing more up than it was a year ago, you just don't want to see it.
The media will run out and find people who've left here and try to grab those stories, but they don't call up those guys that stayed and been here and fought through it and have made this team under a Coach Prime standard. Like that's where the story is.
First half was a little sloppy that first quarter, had some uncharacteristic penalties, both sides of the ball. The defense really stepped up in that second quarter, got us back in the game. We got the ball first because we deferred. If we score on this drive, when we score on this drive, ball game over, they're going to fold.